Hey Facebook, just wanted to pop on here. So who here grew up like me in the recession or feels like they were kind of disadvantaged because of the 2008-2009 recession, and ever since that they've been feeling like they can't get ahead in life, like they hey Abby, thanks for jumping in. They feel like they never have any extra money, extra cash, like you're always like running from paycheck to paycheck, never really feeling like you can get ahead. I know I felt like that before. I felt like there's been this surmounting debt that I've just had to continually chase after, and my finances, I would never like get ahead with those. I would never, I'd always have to be working job after job after job after job just to pay off my debt, my student loan debt, my credit card debt, pay all my bills, all of that. Does anybody feel that way too? I mean, raise your hand or put up a thumbs up or a heart or give me a like. Like, who feels like they can't get ahead with their finances? I know a lot of people in my generation probably feels that way, especially if they were in school right when the recession hit. So maybe you've been following me. Thanks, Jana. My hair, I feel like it's crazy today. I just washed it, which I don't normally do. But anyways, if maybe you don't know me very well, or maybe you've been following me for a while, or maybe you grew up with me, I don't know, or maybe you've just started watching my story unfold and my journey unfold. But if you don't know, about a couple weeks ago, I was able to put a big lump sum of money towards one of my big credit cards that I had racked up debt on. And that was one of the most amazing feelings ever, to be able to pay off this debt credit card. And it made me feel like I was able to finally, raising kids. Probably I don't have kids, so I don't really know what that's like, but I do know that I grew up in the recession, and I've had some hard times with finances, and being able to pay off that credit card was like this thing just lifted off my chest, and finally I had this feeling of hope again, that I could gain control of over my finances, that my finances weren't something that's controlling me anymore, that I can actually start living my life and not just be living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. So to go a little bit back into my story, I got into some major, and how I was like even able to do that, how I got into some pretty deep debt, not as bad as some people in my generation. Like, I know people that graduated from college and they were in like $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in debt, just in student loan debt. And fortunately, I grew up in a family that my parents taught me how to save, to not be like frivolous with my money. We always, we always like shopped at the clearance rack. I never had the nicest, newest things. Like, you fix things before you went and broke it. Like, just for instance, my computer is like 6 years old right now, and I'm finally gonna probably get a new computer now, which I'm pretty excited about, because it's finally just pooping itself out. But regardless, like, I grew up in a family that we had to save a lot, and we didn't have a lot of extra money. So I learned lessons with saving and stuff. But regardless, like, my generation, college is expensive, and I didn't go to a really cheap school. I got into Miami University. It's not one of the cheaper colleges. My parents helped me out with that, but I still came out of that school with some debt. And then when I came out of that school with that degree, I decided to join the Peace Corps, which is an awesome time, and that was a great experience. But once again, like, I was volunteering for 2 years, so that means I wasn't making any money. Like, I gave up 2 years of my life to go help another group of people and learn about myself and learn about another culture and learn about the world. And I'm very fortunate for that experience, but it did not help my paycheck, my balance in my bank accounts. As I was doing that, my savings account, my very, very little savings account, was just slowly depleting. So when I got back from Peace Corps, I had pretty much zero money. I think my mom like made sure I had a little bit of money, but I had like $0. And then I had to buy a car, which Peace Corps gave us like a living like readjustment allowance, which helped pay for the car. But I realized I wanted to go back to school, and this time my parents weren't going to help me do that, which I'm really fortunate that they helped me the first time around, and I could be sitting in a lot more debt if they hadn't. But they didn't help me, so because that was my choice to go back to school. So I chose to go back to school, which meant digging into more student loan debt to pay for that. Even though it was a cheaper school, it still cost money. Like, things cost money, right? And so I went back to school, and then because I decided to live in a house with my cousin, that was more expensive than having moved back home with my parents. I made these choices that at the time I didn't really understand the consequences of them. So it definitely racked up my finances, my financial debt, because I didn't have any money to pay for school and I was having to take out loans to do that. Then I had to also, use credit cards to just even live and pay for different expenses. Yes, I was working at the time 3 different jobs and going to school full time. So talk about busy. Like, super, super busy, super, super stressed, and just continually racking up this debt. So over the years, this debt was like something that became kind of out of control. And even after I graduated from Hawking College, I had racked up like so much in student loan debt, plus another like $10,000 in credit card debt, which is a lot. And to even say that is embarrassing to me, but I want to come clean because I want to show you guys that, like, I'm a real person, and if I can do this, you guys can do this too. So yes, I had a lot of debt, and I got a job, a full-time job, but I was working in the outdoor industry, which I still work in the outdoor industry, and I love it. I love it so much. It's one of the best things to be able to be outside and get paid to do things that people do for vacation, like, so great, and to be able to like show people these amazing places. But the fact is, guides don't make a lot of money, and even though I got a full-time job with benefits as a wilderness therapy field instructor, I had to move for that job, and they didn't pay relocation allowance like corporate America jobs. Like, when you move across country, like, sometimes you get some sort of relocation reimbursement. Like, I didn't get any of that. I had to move everything up, move everything into my car and just go for this job because I was like, well, this is a good opportunity. So I moved with no money, moved to a place I didn't know anybody, and then I was making like, I don't know what, like $10,000, $12,000 a year. Maybe it was like $20,000 a year. I don't know, but with the expenses of, like, I was camping like half the time, and then I was like in my house half the time, so that kind of cuts on your expenses for food and stuff like that. But still, like, not making a lot of money when you have a lot of debt to pay off. So once again, it's getting hard. Like, I didn't know what to do, so I met my boyfriend, and I ended up moving in with him, and he helped out with expenses, so that was nice. I was able to do, like, he would actually pay for rent, and I didn't have to pay for, so that kind of helped my financial situation. And then we decided to go be guides out here, like, after we moved up to Lake Superior, so that's another move. I moved up, like, further up in Wisconsin, and guided up there all summer, which I worked a lot and didn't eat a lot, like, didn't have a lot of expenses, but it's still the amount of money that was spent, or that I had to pay back every month with my student loan debt, my credit card debt. Like, I felt like I was drowning. I was drowning in this debt that I would always have to, like, be chasing after, and and feel like I'm just living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, and it's never going to go away. And then we decided, I got this really good opportunity to move out to Arizona, where I am now for this job with Arizona Outback Adventures and REI Adventures and all of this guiding that I do now. So got this opportunity to move out here, but once again, like, that means packing everything up into my car, in Chad's car, and driving clear cross country. Not even sure if we're gonna get this job. This time we don't even really have that much family support to help us out, and you know, take a risk to do this job that is probably not gonna pay us very much money. But it's our passion, and it's something that we enjoy, and it's an opportunity, so I took it. So so we took it, and it was another financial burden. Like, I once again, like, depleted my savings account, very little savings account that I had, to be able to move clear across country. I was living on people's couches and out of my boyfriend's car, and then a hotel room, and we had to get my car down here, so and put down a deposit on, like, this really expensive apartment because we didn't know the area, and that was just the first thing that we were able to move into. And so once again, it's like this vicious cycle of, like, I am racking up more credit card debt on top of my student loan debt, and I'm never going to get ahead. So I came across this opportunity called Beachbody, which I had heard of Beachbody before, and I saw my coach's profile about how she had paid off over $200,000 of debt with this opportunity, just helping others, working on getting healthy and fit, and working on herself, and then eventually able to, like, gain enough money that she was able to pay down her debt, and then pay off and retire her husband from the military, and then move clear across country. So it really spoke to me, because I was like, wait a second, like, maybe this might be my opportunity. Maybe this is my opportunity to finally breathe again, to finally feel like I have control over my finances. And I had started tracking, like, about a year or so before I signed up to be a Beachbody coach. I had started tracking my expenses, so I kind of already knew like where things were going, and where things weren't, and where I was saving, and what I was spending too much. So that's one tip I have. So tip number one is track your expenses. Like, I have this giant Excel spreadsheet that my brother put together for me. It's pretty awesome. I am willing to share that with anybody who wants it. I'll give you a blank copy, and I can walk you through those steps of how to track your expenses. But that's the number one thing I started doing, was I started tracking my expenses. And so I knew, and I still do it today, like, every penny I spend, I have it tracked. So I know I can look back on the month and see, like, okay, I'm spending too much money on groceries this month, or I'm spending too much money on, you know, eating out, or I'm spending too much money at Target, or whatever it is. Like, I start tracking everything. And then with my credit cards, I started what's called the snowball effect. So you take your biggest credit card. So I haven't even really begun to dig away at my my student loan debt, because I'm trying to get those credit cards paid off, so then I can start working. I actually signed up for a income-based repayment plan with the student loan debt. So that's another tip. Tip number two, if you can, sign up, talk to a financial advisor, see if you can start to, like, get into a repayment plan that's actually affordable to you, because what I was paying was not affordable to me. And so I was able to get those payments for my student loan, my minimum payments, down, so that if I can't pay anything that month, then that's okay, and I'm not going to be, like, penalized for that. So I'm on an income-based repayment plan, and because of my guiding job, I don't have a very high income, because a lot of my money comes from tips. So yeah, it's something. And then now with Beachbody, I'm starting to gain some income from that, but it's still not a lot of money. But I was able to pay off one of my credit cards. So this is how I did it. I, one, started tracking my expenses. Two, I got on an income-based repayment plan with my student loans. And then 3, I took my biggest credit card and I started working on that one. So like all my other, or not my biggest one, you start with the smallest one, sorry. You start with the smallest credit card, and you pay what you can of that. You make all of your bigger payments towards that smallest one. So so all your other, like, so say you have like 4 credit cards. So your biggest credit card, you will pay the minimum amount on that one. And then your next credit card, you pay the minimum amount. And then your 3rd credit card, you pay the minimum amount. And then that 4th credit card, you pay as much as you can to get that one paid off. So then once that, and you do that every month until that smallest balance is paid off, okay? And then once you do that, then you can take all of those amounts, so whatever that total, so say you were paying, I'm just going to throw out a number, say you were paying $400, okay? So say you were doing 50, 50, 50, and then, so that's 150, I'm not good with math, that'd be 250, no. That would be, what is that, 50, 100, 150 minus 400 is, that's 250? 250, yeah, 250. So then you were paying 250 on that 4th credit card. So then once that's all paid off, then you distribute that 400 amongst the 3 credit cards. So you do your smallest amount, like 50 minimum, 50 minimum, and then you pay the rest towards that smaller credit card. So, yeah, I'm terrible with math on the fly. So then you just keep doing that until you're able to pay off credit cards. So I had a couple credit cards that had some small balances, and I was able to pay those off pretty quickly with my Beachbody money that I was making extra every month. And then I started putting money in savings. So every paycheck I got, I'd take like $50 from that paycheck or whatever it was, and I'd put it away in a savings account. That's super important. Like, put part of your money into a savings account. Like, don't touch it. And then when I was able to finally like get enough money that I was like looking at my savings account, and like part of that is the hoarder in me that I was like learned from my parents of like save, save, save. Like, I had this huge balance in my savings account for once, and I was like, whoa, I could probably pay off my credit card. And so I did. I paid it off. And that would have never happened had I not signed up, had I not decided to take control over my finances, and had I not, in the way I got into that mindset was from Beachbody coaching. Like, I started working on myself, and I started learning that I was in control of my finances, of my decisions, of what I did with my life. And so that's how I was able to save. And then from that extra money from Beachbody and from what my other jobs, I mean, when I first started Beachbody coaching, I was working 4 other jobs. Like, that's silly. You don't need to do that. Like, you don't need to work like a million different little jobs here and there. Like, find the things you're passionate about and do what you need to do to like get the money that you need to get out of debt. And so I was able to do that with Beachbody coaching. So in the end, I was able to figure out how to get unstuck from that financial burden and to see that light at the end of the tunnel. Like, when I paid off that big credit card, it was like this huge weight just lifted off my chest, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this. Like, I can actually not be stuck in these finances of where I'm going to be constantly living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck and never actually living, and always having to like worry about where my money is going to come next, and worry about how I'm going to pay this bill and how I'm going to pay that bill and how I'm going to deal it with this. Or if my car breaks down, like where am I going to get money from that? Or now my laptop just broke, like where am I going to get money from that? Like, I do not have those worries anymore because I started taking control over my finances and control over my life. And it's such an amazing, amazing feeling. And I would love to show and teach you, each and every one of you that listens to this or watches this, how to do that. Because the thing is we all have the ability to do what I did. We all have that ability to get out from underneath our beliefs, to do something about our situation, to like take control of our lives, because we all are in control of our lives. You are in control of your life. Like, no one else is. Your mom isn't, your kids, your husband, your spouse, like, everybody and their mom, your employer, whatever. Nobody is in control of your life but you. Like, you make those decisions. You are in control. So I realized this. It wasn't until I realized this through my time as a coach. Like, I wouldn't have come to this conclusion if it hadn't been for coaching and what I've learned through coaching over this past year and a half. From being a coach, I was able to, like, gain that confidence and self-worth and understand that I'm the one that's in control of how my life goes, and be able to get out from underneath this huge burden of my finances. So I am looking to grow my team as a coach, to grow my team because I want to help people to feel that same success and relief and lightness and that light at the end of the tunnel. I want people to have the life that they have always wanted. I want people to be able to pursue their dreams and not be worried about, well, how am I going to afford this, or how am I going to afford that, or how am I going to do this because I got to pay that. Like, I want people to have a life that is free, to break free from that inner, like, doubt and that inner judgment and that inner like, fear. I want people to be able to have a life of freedom, and you can do that with Beachbody Coaching. So I am opening up my team to this month. I want to grow it to 7 more coaches. So I'm looking to have 7 more people join my team. And these are people that I want on my team who are ready to make a change in their lives and in the lives of others, and who are ready to break free from that financial burden or from those fears of doubt and self-hatred and whatever it is that you are struggling with. Like, this can help you. So here's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to write this down. I want you right now to write down that what it is that you are afraid of. What is it that you are struggling with, and what is it that you would like in your life, and what is it that you want to achieve in your life. And the sky's the limit, guys. Like, you can do anything that you want. You just have to take control and do it. So write those things down, and then what I want you to do right now is to send me either a direct message or an email. My email is Steph, STEPH_758@hotmail.com. Write that down. STEPH_758@hotmail.com. I know it's an old email and I've thought about getting a new one, but whatever. It works. So write that email down. I want you to send me a direct message or to email me. And within the next 10 minutes, do this, because life is all about making that decision now. Not waiting, not saying someday, not saying sometime. Do it now. And then within the 10 minutes of this video, send me that message or that email, and then I will know that you're serious about joining my team, about wanting to make a change in your life, and that in your situation, and that you want to do something about it, okay? And then in the message, we'll get talking about we'll have that conversation about how we can get you under control of your finances, how we can get you set up to do what I did with my finances, or maybe brainstorm some ways that we can get you under control of your finances, or whatever the struggle it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be finances, but that's what I'm talking about right now. So if this relates to you, like, please message me, and we'll get you going and see how you can get a handle on this. And then if you're, we'll talk about whether or not you're a good fit for my team and see if this is an opportunity for you. So I hope I hear from you. Please don't let this pass you by. I'm looking for 7 people this month, and those spots will go away if you don't jump in on this right now. So let's make a decision now, and I hope to hear from you. Thanks for everybody who jumped on. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.